It starts quietly. No one notices at first. You're 7 years old, staring into the eyes of a parent who is falling apart. Maybe it's addiction, maybe it's anger, maybe it's just the hollow silence of someone too broken to show up. And without words, something ancient clicks in your small mind. If I don't hold everything together, no one will. This is how a child disappears. Not physically, but psychologically. They smile more, they cry less. They learn to read the room before they speak. They become the emotional thermostat of the household. They become small adults long before their minds are ready. And the world praises them for it. You're so mature. You're so responsible. You're so strong. But no one ever stops to ask, at what cost? This is the invisible grief of those who grew up too fast. And today we're going deep inside the psychology of that child, because the effects don't vanish with age. They shape you. They follow you into relationships, careers, your sense of worth. And if you don't understand what happened, you'll spend your adult life repeating the survival patterns that once saved you, but are now slowly killing you. Let's start with what's really happening developmentally. When children are forced to emotionally support adults instead of the other way around, psychologists call this parentification. It's when a child becomes the caregiver, the peacekeeper, the therapist, the protector. This isn't just unhealthy, it rewires the brain. Because when a child is consistently put in charge of emotional regulation, either their own or others, it creates something called hypervigilance. You're always scanning for danger. You walk on eggshells. You learn that love is a transaction. You give peace, and maybe they'll give you safety. You learn that your needs are dangerous and theirs are urgent. So you disappear, not physically, but emotionally. And in your place grows a version of you that performs well. You become the good child, the quiet achiever, the therapist friend, the one who never asks for anything. And you wear that identity so convincingly that even you forget it's a mask. But deep down, something hurts. Something aches because the inner child you buried didn't die. They're still in there screaming silently. Why didn't anyone protect me? As you grow older, the symptoms become more complex. You might become hyper-independent. You refuse help, push people away, or never feel truly safe in love. You might feel numb during happy moments because joy feels unfamiliar, unearned, even dangerous. You might struggle to rest because productivity is the only way you've ever felt worthy. And worst of all, you might not even realize you're still stuck in survival mode. Because when dysfunction is normalized early, your nervous system accepts chaos as baseline. Stillness feels wrong, peace feels suspicious, love feels like a debt you'll have to repay. This is the psychology of a child forced to grow up too fast. It's not just sadness. It's a complex trauma that reshapes how you view the world, and more importantly, yourself. Now you may ask, why would any child willingly take on that role? Because children will do anything for attachment, even abandon themselves. The choice is never conscious. It's biological. In the absence of safety, the child sacrifices authenticity for belonging. That's not weakness. That's intelligence. That's instinct. But the tragedy is this: what saved you then imprisons you now. So many of us are walking around as high-functioning adults with deeply neglected inner children pulling the strings. We overachieve to earn love. We stay silent to avoid abandonment. We take care of everyone, but secretly wish someone would just ask if we're okay. And that fantasy that someone will notice you're not as strong as you pretend to be. That maybe, just maybe, you'll finally get to fall apart and be held. That is the unmet need, not of your adult self, but of the child who never got to be a child. The first step to healing isn't fixing, it's witnessing. Because until you validate what happened, you'll keep gaslighting yourself with thoughts like, it wasn't that bad. Other people had it worse. I turned out fine. But fine is a mask too. And deep down, you know it. So, what happens to that child when they grow up? They become adults who never feel safe even in calm rooms. They become lovers who can't trust softness. They become givers who can't receive. They become the kind of people who apologize for crying, flinch at compliments, and confuse exhaustion with success. This is the cost of growing up too fast. Because if your childhood trained you to be strong at the expense of being soft, to be quiet instead of honest, to fix others while ignoring your own fractures, then what kind of adulthood do you inherit? You inherit a life where you're always holding your breath, waiting for someone to give you permission to finally fall apart. But here's the truth. No one's coming to rescue the child you buried. You are the one who must go back and hold their hand. You are the one who must say what no one else ever said. You didn't deserve that. You were just a child. You get to rest now. And maybe this is where the deeper healing begins. The slow rewiring of a nervous system that has been braced for decades. Healing isn't about forgetting the past. It's about teaching your body that the past is over. Trauma doesn't live in memories alone. It lives in reactions, in the tightening of your shoulders, in the way you flinch when someone raises their voice, in the way silence makes you uneasy. You can't think your way out of trauma. You have to feel your way through it. Attachment theory tells us that those who were forced to parent their parents often develop an anxious or avoidant attachment. Anxious, because love was unpredictable and you learned to chase it. Avoidant, because closeness felt unsafe and you learned to numb yourself. Sometimes both. So as adults, we oscillate between craving connection and fearing it. We want to be seen, but the moment someone looks too closely, we hide. Because vulnerability still feels like danger, not intimacy. And this is why healing is not just self-care, it's reparenting. It's learning how to offer yourself what was missing: safety, patience, softness, structure. It's sitting with the trembling parts of you and saying, I know you're scared, but you're safe now. It's giving yourself permission to exist without performance, to be loved without earning it. When we talk about healing inner children, it's not some abstract idea. It's the practice of creating the conditions you never had. It's allowing yourself to play again, to rest without guilt, to make mistakes without shame. It's catching yourself in those old reflexes, over-explaining, apologizing, rescuing, and gently asking, who am I trying to protect right now? That moment of awareness is everything, because awareness interrupts the pattern. And over time, as that awareness deepens, something shifts. You begin to feel what safety actually feels like. Your breath slows, your body softens. You notice that you no longer need to control every room you walk into. That silence no longer feels like rejection. That love doesn't have to be earned. It can just be received. That's what integration looks like. Not perfection. Presence. You start to see your triggers not as proof of brokenness, but as echoes of old wounds asking to be seen. You learn to stay with discomfort instead of running from it. You realize that healing isn't about becoming your best self. It is about coming home to your real self, the one that was always there beneath the performance. Because the truth is, your sensitivity, your vigilance, your empathy, they weren't flaws. They were survival tools. But now, they can become gifts. The same awareness that once kept you safe can now help you connect. The same intuition that once warned you of danger can now guide you toward authenticity. The same strength that once made you endure can now help you create. The goal isn't to kill the protector, it's to teach them peace. Carl Jung once said, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. But shadow work demands that we face it. All of it. The neglected, the ashamed, the scared, the angry. Because healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. So, if you're someone who grew up too fast, know this. Your maturity was never the problem. The problem was that you had no choice, but now you do. You can choose softness. You can choose to rest. You can choose to stop managing everyone else's emotions and start honoring your own. And no, it won't happen overnight. There will be days you feel like a child again. Good. That's the point. Let that child come home. Let them cry. Let them play. Let them finally be seen because you're not broken. You're becoming whole. And maybe for the first time, you're finally growing up the right way. Not through pressure, not through fear, but through truth. You never had a childhood, but you still have a future. And this time, You get to write it.